During this presentation, we will take an in-depth look at the isometric drawing on page 18, uncovering key concepts that will help you understand how to approach an isometric drawing. On the front page of the PowerPoint presentation, which is available on the JPEGD website, there is a visual tool to help you understand how the specific drawing will be drawn. The 3D PDF Rotate is an excellent visual tool to help you understand in depth how this drawing should look like. There are certain key concepts that will be applied to all isometric drawings. First of all, isometric drawings are always drawn in third angle orthographic projection. Always remember to draw an auxiliary view for any given polygon. Know your isometric circle construction. Please take note that the separate presentation on isometric circle construction is also available for viewing. Always make S your lowest point in your drawing, and always remember an isometric drawing is drawn with your 30-degree set square on a 30-degree angle. We need to look at certain key concepts regarding isometric drawings. As previously stated, isometric drawings are always drawn in third angle orthographic projection. If you can take a look at the model for explanation purposes, and for this drawing, the top view, front view, and right view were given. And for third angle orthographic projection, my top view is always at the top, the front view right underneath the top view, and the right view on the right-hand side of the front view. To see how we will apply this in our isometric drawing, our front view will be on the left side of the isometric drawing, my right view will be on the right side of the isometric drawing, and my top view will be at the top of my isometric drawing. Another very important key concept is that we use our 30-degree set square, our 30-degree axis on a 30-degree angle, as well as our 90-degree axis that we will draw to create our isometric drawing. It is very important to get a visual feel for isometric drawings. To do that, we will look at the isometric box, also referred to as the glass box. So if we can take our orthographic views of our model, and we know that we've got our front view, and we have to place it within our isometric drawing, we can see that one will be my front view on the left side of the isometric. If I look at my right view, and my right view will be on the right side of my isometric box, and then also if I look at my top view, that will be at the top of my isometric box. If you can take the same concept for our specific drawing, and we look at our isometric or glass box, and we look at our orthographic views that was in the given information, it's very important to take note. If I look at my front view that was in my given orthographic views, it's very important to take note that all my darker A-type lines and all the different shapes that is present in my orthographic view needs to be transferred and placed in the correct positions in my front view. So if I look at my right view, I can see that all the different A-type lines and all the different shapes that is visible in my right view needs to be transferred and drawn in the right position in my right view as well. And then also when I look at my top view, once again, all our darker A-type lines and all our shapes that will be visible in my top view needs to be transferred to the top view in the isometric and needs to be visible and drawn dark as well. In summary, it is very important to identify the different orthographic views so it can be applied and converted to the correct isometric drawing. Therefore, we can say then that this will be my front view, this will be my right view, and my top view at the top in line with my front view. It's important that we read through the question. We've got given information. Given is the front view, top view, and right view of a model, and the position of S on the drawing sheet. So for our instructions, we must use a scale of 1 to 1 and convert the orthographic views of the model into an isometric drawing. It's important to take note of the scale 1 to 1, where the dimensions will be used that is on the orthographic views. Also make S the lowest point in the drawing. Show all necessary construction, and that will specifically be applied to our auxiliary views. No stencils may be used and no hidden detail is required. Before we can start with our isometric drawing, we first need to understand that in my front view, I will see my total length. In my right view, I will see the total breadth or width, as well as in my top view. Then my total height will be on the front view. But for this drawing, we're first going to start with the total height of the cube, which will be 75 millimeters as well. First, we need to draw an isometric box. Please take note that S is the lowest point of the drawing. So we will start with our total length of 75 millimeters. And we will use our 30-degree set square to draw a line of 75 millimeters on a 30-degree axis. And that is my total length. For the total width, we will use our 30-degree set square to draw a line of 75 millimeters to get my total breadth or total width. For the total height, we will manipulate our triangle, draw a 90-degree line with a length of 75 millimeters to get my height for the cube. Use your 30-degree set square and complete the isometric box by manipulating your triangle on 30 degrees and 90 degrees and complete the isometric box. We will start with our triangle, which will be visible in my front view. First, we must draw an auxiliary view and then transfer the dimensions from the auxiliary view to the isometric drawing. So our auxiliary view will be an equilateral triangle and can be constructed in two different ways. First, we will have the base. We can use our 60-degree set square and draw a line from the right. Use your 60-degree set square and draw a line from the left side, and where those two lines meet will be my equilateral triangle. You can also use our compass. From the right end of my base, I can draw a circle arc with a radius of 40 millimeters, and then from the left end, we can draw an arc with a radius of 40 millimeters. Where the two circle arcs intersect, that then will be the apex of my equilateral triangle. The next step is to draw a square or rectangle around my triangle, and the total height and the total length of my rectangle or square will be transferred to my isometric drawing. First, we need to determine the height of the base of the triangle, which will be 10 millimeters from the bottom of the isometric box. We also need to position the center line in the correct place. We can transfer the height from the bottom of the base of the triangle and also 20 millimeters from the center line to the left and 20 millimeters from the center line to the right to complete the rectangle in my isometric view. That will then help us to complete our triangle in our isometric view. Very important to take note that my triangle will have a depth of 12 millimeters and will be projected 12 millimeters to the back of my isometric drawing. My center line will therefore also move back 12 millimeters, and then by using my 30-degree set square, I can transfer all the points of my triangle towards the back by 12 millimeters. That then will give me my triangle that I can see the depth at the back. That will help us to see what will be visible in my isometric view for the triangle after we included the depth. Then we can complete the triangle as we will see it in the front view. Next, we will draw the square that will be visible in the right view. Also draw an auxiliary view and transfer dimensions from the auxiliary view to the isometric drawing. First, draw your vertical and your horizontal center line. Use a radius of 14 millimeters and draw a semicircle. Use your 45-degree set square and draw a construction line tangential to the semicircle. Use your 45-degree set square and draw a line tangential to the semicircle on 45 degrees. The side length of the square will be 28 millimeters, which was a given dimension. Transfer the height distance of x and the length distance of x to the isometric view. First, determine the bottom of the base of the square, then position the center lines in the correct position. We can then transfer the orthographic auxiliary view and convert it to the isometric square that I will see in my isometric view. The x distances that was transferred to my isometric view can then be joined to complete my square in my isometric view. Take note that my square has a depth of 12 millimeters. I will therefore use my 30-degree set square and transfer the points of my auxiliary view back by 12 millimeters towards the back of my isometric drawing. My center line therefore will also move back by 12 millimeters towards the back of the isometric drawing where my auxiliary view is placed. That will then mean that my square will move back 12 millimeters towards the back of my isometric drawing. That will help me to complete the square in the right view to see what will be visible and what will not be visible. Next, we will look at the chamfered edge on the cube. We can clearly see the dimension of 15 millimeters that we will need to measure from the top of the cube towards the bottom. So we will measure 15 millimeters towards the bottom and 15 millimeters towards the front edge. Those two edges will then be connected. The same will apply for the right view, the dimension of 15 millimeters. From the top edge of the cube, we will measure 15 millimeters down towards the bottom and then towards the front edge of the cube. We can clearly see in the right view that those 2 points are connected, and then we will connect them to see the chamfered edge in the right view as well. When you look at the top view, we can see the dimension of 15 millimeters will be measured towards the right and also towards the front edge of the chamfered edge. You can clearly see in our top view that those two edges are connected, so you will just connect the two edges to complete the chamfered edge for those specific 2 points on my top view as well to complete the chamfered edge. The next part that we will draw in our isometric drawing is our pentagon. Familiarize yourself with the construction of the pentagon. First of all, constructing a right regular pentagon, if side AB is given, we know that our side length was 26 millimeters. So for our construction, we have a side length of AB. Construct a perpendicular bisector FJ for line AB. Draw a circle arc from the right hand side of the side length AB, and then from A, draw a circle arc. At the bottom, draw a circle arc from A, and then a circle arc from B as well. That will give me my perpendicular bisector, which will be my FJ. The next step is to step off distance Y on line FJ to get my point G. So my distance Y, which will be my side length, I need to step that off on FJ to get my point G. Join points A and G and extend it past point G for line AH, which is my next point, to get me my point H. Next, we need to step off distance X from point G. Our distance X is half a side length to get my point K. Our next step in our construction is with radius AK and center A, draw an arc to intersect line FJ at point D. Point D is the top point of the pentagon, and determine point C and point E of the pentagon by drawing arcs from AB and D using the given side AB as radius. So point D will be my top point. I will then take my side length from D, make an arc in space, and then from A, take my side length and make an arc in space. And that will be my point E, which is the left side of my pentagon. I will repeat this process and complete my pentagon. Then from point D, side length and arc in space. From point B, side length and arc in space. And that will give me my point C, and then I can complete my pentagon construction. We need to draw an auxiliary view and transfer the dimensions from the auxiliary view to the isometric view. We already did the pentagon construction. We know that our side length is 26 millimeters. We will then construct a rectangle around the pentagon. We must then transfer these dimensions to our isometric drawing. Use your 30-degree set square and draw your center line. First, need to determine the distance that the bottom part of the pentagon will be away from the edge of the cube, which will be 15 millimeters. We must then transfer our distances x1 to our top view, and we also need to transfer the distance y to our top view. Use your 30-degree set square and draw a line parallel to the edge seen on the top view. Use your 30-degree set square and draw a line to complete our auxiliary view in the top view. And that will give me my isometric construction rectangle. That will enable me to get the base of my pentagon. From there, I will transfer distance y from my auxiliary view to my isometric view. You can also see that my side length was 26 millimeters, which will be from the center 13 millimeters towards the one side and 13 millimeters towards the right hand side. So we will take 13 millimeters from the center line, and we will transfer the 13 millimeters towards the left and towards the right. We can also work with our distances x, that you can work from the side of the auxiliary view from the left to the side of the auxiliary view on the right hand side. After this, we can just connect the points to get our pentagon in the isometric view. The depth of the pentagon is 12 millimeters. That will mean that the top of the construction rectangle needs to be projected down with 12 millimeters underneath the top surface of the cube. That will give me my points that I need to project down 90 degrees to get to the bottom part of the pentagon. We can then construct the bottom part of the pentagon. The top part of the pentagon will be visible, and by constructing the lines down, we can see the depth of the pentagon, what will be visible and what will not be visible. Next, we will be constructing our octagon. Once again, draw an auxiliary view and transfer the dimensions from the auxiliary view to the isometric. So in order for us to draw our auxiliary view, we need to use our 45-degree set square. A side length of 14 millimeters was given. Use your 45-degree set square and construct your octagon with side lengths of 14 millimeters. Draw a construction rectangle around the octagon and transfer your construction rectangle by using the distances of Z for the height and the length to the isometric view. Use half of the dimension of Z from the center line to draw your square in the isometric on the back edge of the cube. The octagon has got a thickness of 12 millimeters. Project your auxiliary view in the isometric by 12 millimeters to the front. Transfer the distance from the corner of the auxiliary view to the edge of the octagon and transfer that to your isometric view. Apply this method to all four corners and construct your octagon in the isometric. Project these distances back to get the thickness of the octagon. Next, we need to construct our hexagon. Once again, draw an auxiliary view and transfer the dimensions from the auxiliary view to the isometric. So in order for us to construct our auxiliary view, we first need to look at our given dimension, which is a diameter of 60 millimeters. So draw your construction circle with a radius of 30 and a diameter of 60 millimeters. And according to your orientation, look where the center lines will intersect with your circle. With the sharp end of your compass, where the hexagon will make an angle and draw a circle arc. Repeat this process to the bottom as well as to the top. Take your 60-degree set square and connect all 6 points. That will give you auxiliary view. Your next step is to construct a construction rectangle around your hexagon. Transfer all these distances, distance x for the height and the 60 millimeters that was given for the width. Draw your construction rectangle on the back edge of the cube and place the center lines appropriately. Project your construction rectangle to the front, place the center lines appropriately and construct a rectangle in the isometric. Next step is to transfer the distances from the auxiliary view to my isometric. Apply this to all the corners and complete your hexagon in the isometric. The thickness of the hexagon is 12 millimeters and project that towards the back and complete your hexagon in your isometric drawing. Next, we will be constructing our isometric circle with the radius of 18 millimeters. For isometric circles, we will always work with the diameter. So the radius of 18 will become a diameter of 36 millimeters. That will mean that from our center lines to the bottom and the top and to the left and the right of the center lines, we will measure 18 millimeters. Draw your construction rectangle with the diameter of 36 on the outside of the center lines. That will give you your centers of the construction rectangle for the isometric circle. At your obtuse angles and draw to the opposite centers construction lines to get the 4 points that I will have for my isometric circle. Use these 4 points and draw your isometric circle. The isometric circle also has a thickness of 12 millimeters. You need to project the centers towards the back by 12 millimeters. So for the bigger arc, I will have to project that backwards. Use your radius that you originally used for the bigger arc and draw your circle arc to get the thickness for the isometric circle. When we look at the two smaller arcs, we need to project those backwards by 12 millimeters. Use the same radius as we did for the front portion of the isometric circle and draw from the center the small portion of the arc that will be visible. For the other smaller arc, we also need to project it back by 12 millimeters and once again use the original radius that we used for the smaller arc and construct from the center the smaller portion of the arc that will be visible. That then will give us the depth of our isometric circle. Make sure that everything that will be visible is drawn with the A-type darker line so that everything that needs to be visible for the isometric is visible. Take note, center lines for isometric is very important and make sure that all center lines are placed appropriately. And this concludes our explanation of page 18 for isometric drawings.